Well, welcome back to karting Genk here in the Limburg region of Belgium. We're close to the Dutch border and less than 40 miles from the border with Germany. It's the opening round of the CIK FIA European Championships in classes KZ, KZ2 and also the first round of the Academy Trophy. It's round 3 of the 4 rounds in the class KF. And the first of our track action this afternoon is the first of our 4 finals, the KZ2 final. And that man on screen that you see there in the CRG race suit, Andrea Dale, just partially turning round. He's going to start on pole position, driving the CRG Maxter, unbeaten in the event so far in kart number 369. Just over to the side, just bending his knees, kart 305, Jan Modala. Jan Modala only beaten by Andrea Dale. Otherwise, Jan Modala quicker than all of the other guys. You see this. You see the grid there, the assembly area in CIK FIA racing and many other international series. The formation grid, if you will, the assembly area, the dummy grid, is the grid itself. Well, our picture there, kart 350, shows Andreas Hansen just pulling up his Tony Kart race suit. He'll start on the outside of row 2 and he'll be alongside the Dutchman Marian Kramers just to the bottom of your screen. He's crouching, but one of our TV cameras just there we are, the Birel race suit. Well, it's turned down to his waist, isn't it? That was the second row. A little bit further back there, that's Cresson, one of the French drivers. Johan Cresson is starting on row 16. But this is a little nearer the front because Douglas Lundberg is kart 304 in that Alfa Perilla in the foreground. And just at the back of your screen, Ryan Vanderberg of Netherlands driving the DR chassis with the TM motor, just zipping up his race suit. Really good drive in his pre-final. Gets himself a row 3 start in the final. 23 laps for this final in KZ2, so we're racing 31.25 kilometres. Douglas Lundberg you see there in kart 304, the caption showing he drives for CPB Sport, has led races, won one of our heats earlier in the weekend. He starts on the inside of row 3. Oh, that's a good shot, isn't it? Our cameramen really picking you excellent shots, looking down the grid there at all of those karts just from that upper angle. The grid girls, of course, in the middle, just adding that little bit of glamour. Jan Modala just crouching down at the side of his kart number 305. This is row 4 and Christian Abolin of Croatia driving the TB kart is in the forward part of the screen. Just beyond there, kart number 312 is Finn Koyman, the Dutchman. You don't see Finn, although you do see, we think we got a little wave from Finn. We do see his trousers. Thanks, Finn. I think we got an acknowledgement there. Kart 370, Johan Cresson, once again getting a shot in his kart, 370. Finn Koyman driving the CRG TM. Much improved driver. Very, very good in terms of progress that he's made in the last 2 seasons. Kart 331 is Fabian Federer, but closer is Simone Brenner. This is Simone Brenner of Italy, driving a TB kart in the TB kart green, black and white colours. Rather nice livery that. He is in kart number 309, just sitting at the side of the kart or sitting on the back wheel. I think we nearly get a smile out of Simone. Maybe he hears what we're saying. Thanks for that, Simone. Good luck to you. Good luck to everyone. Sam Webster there with the ART race suit, one of our British drivers. And again, this front-on shot that always looks impressive before the start of a final. This is row 6, Joel Johansson in the Rigetti chassis, powered by the Perilla motor. Joel Johansson, very good driver in the last 2 or 3 seasons. Had a little bit of misfortune here, but gets himself a 6th row start in the final. Alongside him, we saw briefly kart 311, Alessio Piccini, Alessio Piccini from Italy in the Tony Kart Vortex. Well, we scheduled away at 13:50, so a little bit longer to go. This is row 7. Marco Zanchetta, you see here, kart 302 with his mechanic, just looking towards us, but we don't get a smile out of Marco. Maybe he doesn't understand our English. Never mind. 345 beyond him is Michele Di Martino. That's as Italian a sounding name as you could wish for, but it's actually German driver. Kart 345, the Energy TM. Well, the Genk circuit, 1,350 miles, 1,350 miles, meters, 337 in our shot there. Kart number 337 is Manuel Huber from Germany, survived an exclusion from one of the heats, but has made it to the final, albeit he starts on row 17 in that DR chassis powered by the TM motor. You see Finn-Erik Rijsmeier just to the side, sitting down. Finn-Erik Rijsmeier starting in front of him on row 16, the Norwegian. Okay, that sounds like the klaxon that I'm hearing, and if so, that will be something like the 3-minute klaxon. Let's see if the grid is cleared. Just to complete the guys that we didn't see, on row 8 there was Mike Siebeck and Marcel Müller, the German and the Austrian. Row 9, well, as you can see from the circuit and our caption of the 3 sectors, 1,350 metres long, a width of between 8.5 and 12 metres. It's warmer this afternoon than it was this morning. We raced in an air temperature of 16 degrees this morning, 19 degrees now, pretty much perfect racing conditions. As you can see, the sky was a little bit cloudy, but plenty of blue sky to be had. Well, 369 on your left, you saw there was Andrea Dale. This is kart number 362, Marcel Müller from Austria. He's driving a DR with the Modena engine. Alongside him was Mike Siebeck on a CRG, also powered by the Modena. All drivers in this class shod by Bridgestone. They're all on Bridgestone tyres. Row 9, Paweł Mischkier of Poland and Dylan Davis of Netherlands. And row 10, Sam Webster, Great Britain, and Dominic Schmidt of Germany. Kart 376 that you see there is Paweł Mischkier of Poland. And alongside Paweł was Dylan Davis. Paweł drives an Alpha chassis with a TM motor. Dylan Davis, a DR chassis. DR, of course, stands for Danilo Rossi. Danilo Rossi is with us, the 5-time world champion. Daniel Bray at the bottom of your screen from New Zealand. He had a 32.5-hour journey schedule. Thanks for the wave, Daniel. 32.5 hours to get here, and he missed a connection in Singapore, so had to add another 24 hours onto that. That's commitment when you live right down under in New Zealand, and you come at least 32.5 hours to make it to the CIK FIA European Championships in KZ2. He was racing in New Zealand last weekend, Daniel Bray. The length of the circuit there, something like about 480 metres. This time, 1,350 metres. So a rather bigger track here at Karting Genk than Daniel Bray is used to. Daniel driving a GP chassis powered by a TM motor. There is our poleman, Andrea Dale, on the CRG Maxter. Bottom right of your screen, you see Manny Huber, 337. Bottom left of your screen, Daniel Bray that we've just been talking with. This is Marine Kramers in shot on the Birel TM. And just to his outside, Andreas Sebastian Hansen of Denmark. Although our flag just ever so slightly obscures the view. So, with just the mechanics having those last few words, there is the clear the grid board, those last minute handshakes, little clenched fist, go on mate, you can do it. Christian Abolin of Croatia in the TB cart. Just outside of Christian is Finn Koyman of the Netherlands. Got a nice little wave out of Finn previously. Finn on the CRG TM. So I so often say this in my race commentaries. We're getting to near the start of the race. I'm getting very nervous. I always do before the race calls. There is Danilo Rossi, I think, in cart or behind cart 369. Maybe I misread that, but it looked very much like him if it wasn't. The drivers often tell me, no, Ken, it's just another race. It's what we do. I don't get too nervous. Well, guys, some of you don't. I do. Okay, here we go. KZ2 class starts from a standing start. So this is a sighting lap and a formation lap. 23 laps is 31.25 kilometers. 20 miles for those of us that deal in miles. Very nearly 32, just under 32 kilometers for most of the people. You see the tribune in front of the a la carte grandstand there as we sweep away. That's a model car race circuit just to the left. On the far left you saw. Model radio controlled cars. Confirmation that Andrea Dale starts on pole position alongside Jan Madala. Kremers and Hansen row 2, Lundberg and van der Berg row 3, Abolin and Koyman row 4, Brenner and Federer making the top 5. There's the top 20, or the second half of the second 10 in the top 20, if you will. A predominance of Dutchmen here, as we've had throughout. If you were with us for the driver presentation, you'll remember that there were, I think, 19 of them from the neighbouring country from here in Belgium. Seamus Judovicius starting in P29, got involved in a little bit of a shunt near the front in the pre-final, did himself no favours, nor the driver that he had the little schmozzle with. That was, I think, Douglas Lundberg, who's starting on row 3, so Douglas Lundberg recovering a little bit better. The a la carte grandstand, the tribune in front of the brasserie here at Karting Genk, pretty much filled. Nice atmosphere here at Karting Genk when the KZs are racing. Look to the right of your screen, the spectators on the stairs, and people trying to get every vantage point they can there. We're talking to you from that building in red just at the top. We don't see all of the track as we look out the window, but we do see the pictures that you're seeing on screen. Well, on behalf of CIK FIA and on behalf of WSK Promotions, who power this promotion, thank you for joining us on CIK TV. On behalf of Karting Genk's management, thank you for your support as well. You're very welcome here in Belgium. And we look forward to the first of our 4 finals on this European Championship Finals Racing Day. Not the final finals, because all of these classes have further rounds to go later in the year, but these are the racers that are picking the most championship points. Just to the right of your screen you see a little arrive and drive cart, a 4-stroke with a big heavy fairing. They're not going to be racing with us here. We go a little bit faster. Okay, the serious business starts. Andrea Dale on pole position with Jan Madala joining him on the front row. Marion Kramers and Andreas Hansen row 2. Douglas Lundberg and Ryan van der Berg row 3. Christian Abolin and Finn Koyman row 4. Simone Brenner and Fabian Federer completing the top 10 on row 5. Andrea Dale to your left. And now to your right. Jan Madala in the Birel race suit, joining him on the front row. To the left of your screen, upper left, you see 23 laps to go. None gone, 23 to go. And we're racing, and oh, there's immediate problems, and Jan Madala would have got a quick start. It was quicker than Andrea Dale, but the driver behind, I think, had clipped the back of the cart, and an untidy start, and Andrea Dale from pole position getting a really better start than he might have done. I think Marianne Kramer's, well, I won't say think, let's wait until we can clearly identify who these people are. Kart 369 in the lead is certainly your pole position man, and behind him it is Finn Koyman. So Finn Koyman getting that really good start in second place, and in third place that is Marianne Kramer's. So the Italian pole sitter gets away, and he's followed by the two Dutch teenagers, which is Finn Koyman in kart 312, Marianne Kramer's in kart 314. Now, I've mentioned in commentary this morning, if you weren't joining us this morning, there's a very exaggerated body inclination from Andrea Dale. He leans really severely over when he's in the turns, even when he's not under karting pressure. There you see it to the left-hand side. Here you see it to the right-hand side, although we cut away a little bit sharply. But a very, very distinctive race style. And he has been consistently, across all his races, half a second quicker than everybody else. And 304 bidding to take a place, and does so. That was Douglas Lundberg going up into third place from fourth. And our television pictures capturing that move nicely. Again, a little replay of this. In fourth place, and there goes the dive out by kart 304 Douglas Lundberg, and just catching Marianne Kramer's just a little bit unawares. Kramer's relegated temporarily, therefore, into fourth place. Well, I say temporarily, he might be permanently there, but you know what I mean? It's very much a long race. Well, just looking down, kart 34, I think that might have been, well, again, let me not say who I think it might have been. I'm just a little bit disappointed to see drivers who are last early on when they're detached by a mile, as it were. Kart 369, Andrea Dale getting detached pretty much. Fastest lap to Ricardo Romkemer, who raced in the top four in the pre-final this morning, but then fell away and had to start a lot further down the field than he would have chosen, but getting a quick lap early on. Ricardo Romkemer, one of several Dutchmen, he started in the 22nd position, has already made forward progress on that. We're on lap 3, and kart 312 in your sights is Finn Koyman. Andrea Dale dips his head really low. Finn Koyman just behind him, but closely followed by Lundberg, and Lundberg gets another place. And Douglas Lundberg, who started in P5, is now up to P2. Douglas Lundberg, starting from the inside of row 5, is now running in second place, having just overtaken Finn Koyman. Let's have a look at that again. Finn Koyman doesn't do a lot wrong there, does he? But that tiny little gap that was left is exploited by Douglas Lundberg, and he set the fastest lap on that lap, so he was certainly winding up the wick for a move on Finn Koyman. All he's got to do now is overtake Andrea Dale, and he leads the final. However, Andrea Dale is in a lead of very nearly a full second, and Andrea Dale tends to lap at a half a second quicker than everybody else. Let me just have a look at those numbers. 53.73 for Andrea Dale, 53.85 for Douglas Lundberg. So Lundberg is a lot quicker than a lot of the people have been when chasing down Andrea Dale. Dale's fastest lap, 53.73. We were down into the 52.9s in the pre-final with the KZ class. The KZ2's 53.7 for Andrea Dale, the fastest of those out there presently. You're seeing him, the race leader, just disappear to the right. This is Douglas Lundberg in second place. A little bit later on the brakes by Finn Koyman. So Finn Koyman just getting a little bit closer to Douglas Lundberg by virtue of the later braking on that particular corner. Finn Koyman in front of Jan Mudala, who I have to say I'm very much making the point that I'm quite neutral when I call my races. I truly am neutral when I watch them anyway. But Jan Mudala, I did feel, got a little bit of a misfortune in the sense that I thought he started that race a shade quicker than Andrea Dale, but somebody was climbing onto the back of his cart when he might have accelerated away. However, he's in fourth place and looking threatening now. The Irishman sets the fastest lap. John Norris in 19th place, 53.7. The Irishman has had 2 non-finishers in the event so far when well placed, so he hasn't had the best of good fortune. And there's Mudala bidding to go up into third place and does so. So Finn Koyman, who was running in second, is now relegated to fourth. And your 1, 2 and 3 is Dale 1, Lundberg 2, Mudala 3. And there's our picture of that. Not a hint of any contact. Good move by Mudala. Sensible driving by Koyman, who didn't try to do something silly when the passing move was pretty inevitable. Cresson, who started way down in 32nd place, I think is up to 22nd that we saw on our caption then. So a good drive by the Frenchman from the back, even though he's not likely to get into the podium places from there. Jan Mudala's quick lap, 53.38, so he's on a bit of a charge, but he's got a few lengths to make up on Douglas Lundberg at the moment. We're on lap 7 of a 23-lap race. Middle of your screen there, Nigel Edwards, race director, appeared to be on the radio to one of his colleagues, no doubt. Maybe a case of just keep an eye on such and such, or what did you think of that? Finn Koyman in fourth place is clear of Fabian Federer fifth, Andreas Hansen sixth, Joel Johansson up to seventh, Simone Brenner eighth, Michele Di Martino ninth, and Mike Siebeck of Germany completing the top 10. Mudala's fastest lap at 53.2. Really is quick, isn't it? 53.255 in comparison. 369 Andrea Dale. There, that exaggerated body lead. I have seen drivers lean as much as that, but usually when they're in a really tight racing situation, not when they're clearly out in front. Using the full width of the tarmac as he's entitled to. I know our officials are a little bit, what shall we say, anxious to stop people deliberately always taking a wider sweep beyond the outer white line, and the message has got through. Our television pictures there showing you that everybody keeping within the white lines. 325 on your screen now is rather well down the field. It's Ricardo Romkemer, and Ricardo Romkemer is in 27th place. Seamus Judovicius, the tallest man in international kart racing, 2 meters tall, sets a fastest lap of 53.1. He's just knocking on the door of the top 10 in 11th place. Well, this is a good race now, isn't it? Because we're looking at Douglas Lundberg in second place and Jan Mudala in third place. And Mudala, the message to all of us is loud and clear. I don't want to be here in third place. I want to be at least in second place. If I'm going to lose out to Dale, I want to be the only person behind Dale and not further back. Jan Mudala has only been beaten by Dale. He was beaten in the heats. It was Mudala's only loss there, and he was beaten in this, he wasn't beaten in the pre-final. They were in separate pre-finals, so he's had just one loss all weekend. And so Mudala wanting to make sure that Lundberg doesn't finish in front of him, because championship points, even if Dale was to run away with this, championship points throughout the season, so precious, the difference between third and second being significant. Nice shot of Finn Koyman in action there on the CRG. He's well clear of Andreas Hansen fifth, Fabian Federer sixth, Joel Johansson still running seventh, Simone Brenner eighth, Michele Di Martino ninth, but Seamus Judovicius with that fastest lap has gone past Mike Siebeck and now is running in 10th place. In fact, Judovicius has gone past Michele Di Martino and is in 9th place. Well, you cannot stop a good man. You can't keep him down. 53.1 for Andrea Dale, the CRG Maxter driver from Italy. Heading towards the half race distance. We've got another lap to go to get there yet. But these 23 lap races over very nearly 32 kilometres. Long races, but there's been plenty of action so far. We're watching Jan Madala in third place. Well, that's Finn Koyman we're watching at the moment. Jan Madala tracking down Douglas Lundberg, but at the moment not finding a way past. There is Andrea Dale, dips his head really low, doesn't he? So does Douglas Lundberg, but only for about half a second, and there's Madala's move, and it's gone badly wrong. Well, Madala tried to execute the pass, wasn't able to do so, spun himself and also spun Douglas Lundberg, and that net result is that both of them have lost a lot of places. Let's look again. There's the move. Oh, we won't apportion blame there, but we'll say very unfortunate that both of those front runners have taken a real pounding in terms of the contact and losing places. There's one guy who's quite happy with it. It's Finn Koyman, who gets, if you like, promoted into second place. 3-3-1 there, getting another place forward. 3-3-1, if I read that correctly. Let me double check. Should have been Fabian Federer going past Andreas Hansen, and yet I didn't think that's what it was. Let me do my count. 1, 2, 3. Yes, it was an accurate race call for you at the half race distance. Kart 350, Andreas Hansen. Well, Andreas Hansen will be pretty happy with the way things have gone. Didn't go quite so well for Douglas Lundberg when Jan Madala tried to go past him. Really impossible to say. It might have been that Madala tried a passing move that wasn't on. It might have been that Lundberg moved over to try to defend a non-defensible move. We couldn't see from our television pictures, and hey, we don't have to make any race call if that goes to officials subsequently. Just outside the top 20, Sam Webster is 21st, and Manny Huber, who started last, is up to 22nd. When I say last, he was actually on the back row jointly with Daniel Bray. We're on lap 14 now. That was the conclusion of lap 13. Here we see Andrea Dale. I've said in commentary earlier today, there's been some dramatic action behind him today. He's not known anything about it. He's been a dozen or more lengths clear of everyone. Nice action shot there, isn't it? Does have this sort of stiff driving style and the body leaning over to one side, but hey, it's effective. It's very pronounced, isn't it? Nice action shot here, not under any kind of pressure, and yet sometimes that sort of stiff feeling, you gain the impression, not sort of flowing with the kart, but all drivers' styles are different, and the one thing none of us can say, either a non-racer like me or the racers behind him, nobody can say it's not right for Andrea Dale, because his answer is, well, did anybody beat me in the heats yesterday? Did anybody beat me on the pre-final this morning? Is anybody in front of me now? And the answer to all the questions, no, they are not. Andrea Dale, Finn Koyman, Andreas Hansen, the 1, 2 and 3. Fourth place Fabian Federer, fifth place Douglas Lundberg, fighting back from that issue. Let me see where Jan Madala is presently. He's 24th, just climbed up a place to 24th, and really he will want a long look at the pictures there to see what happened. He would have seen exactly what he thought he saw and exactly what he thought he was executing. He may feel that afterwards that the choice of the move was perhaps not right. He may have felt that somebody else played a part in the collision. 3-3-1 in shot now. Fabian Federer in fourth place. He's just in front of kart 3, and he sets the fastest lap. He's just in front of 3-0-4 Douglas Lundberg and 3-2-3 Seamus Udavicius. Now Seamus Udavicius, who started way down, well, when I say way down, it's, you know, not in the far distant back, but far enough back to need to do a fair bit of work to get forward, in 29th place, is now up to 6th. So let's remind ourselves, this is the KZ2 final in the European Championship. These are the best drivers in KZ2. You've had to start on the 15th row in 29th place, and halfway through the race you find yourself bidding for a podium shot, because in 6th place you see there 3-2-3 is Seamus Udavicius, and trying to get another place. 3-4-2 looking to try to make a move there was Charlie Bizalion, a fair little bit further down. Charlie was outside of the top 20 when I last looked. He's 18th at the moment. 3-1-2 in your shot is Finn Koyman. Just behind him, Andreas Hansen. Behind Andreas, Fabian Federer. On lap 17, Andreas Hansen has to measure how he would attempt to pass on Finn Koyman, because Fabian Federer definitely in a position to make a move if something should go badly wrong. This is the scrap for third, fourth and fifth, second, third and fourth, excuse me. Andrea Dale just having gone through in the lead. And there is the move by Andreas Hansen, and by 3-1-2 Finn Koyman and Andreas Hansen, and Fabian Federer not in a position to make the move that I originally anticipated he might have done. 3-1-2, Finn Koyman remains second, Andreas Hansen remains third, and Fabian Federer in kart 3-3-1 is still in fourth place. But our pictures showing you just how close this racing is. Finn Koyman in second place is the leader of this trio. Andreas Hansen is the middleman, and Fabian Federer, the third of these three, in fourth place in the race. We're on lap 18 of a 23-lap race, so we're moving to the final quarter. Well, Andrea Dale is 5.2 seconds clear. So if you say, well, where's the race leader? And there's the move by Andreas Hansen. Does it take him into second? Yes, it does. Oh, and that was a brave move by Fabian Federer, because that could have gone wrong. And Finn Koyman now going down from second to fourth. And the Dutch teenager is not going to be pleased at the end of this race if he doesn't make the podium. Let's have a look again. Here he is in second place. Andreas Hansen moves forward to go second. And before Finn Koyman can defend, Fabian Federer puts his nose cone in between and says, hey, I'm going to have a piece of this. I'll move up into third place. And he does. Fabian Federer, therefore, now in third. Finn Koyman in fourth. Now, what can the Dutchman do to try to... Nigel Edwards making more notes. I think Nigel Edwards is making more notes than a court shorthand writer. But then... there's plenty of action out there, isn't there? Confirmation that Andrea Dale has increased his lead at the front to 5.8 seconds. Why do we not see a lot of him? Well, he's out there all on his own. We'd rather show you the close racing, but we will tell you he's set a fastest lap at 53.0. There he is. The CRG kart looking immaculate, isn't it? And the Maxter engine isn't doing so badly either, setting another fastest lap. Andreas Hansen in second place, Fabian Federer third. Finn Koyman fourth. A little bit of ground to be made up by Seamus Udavicius in fifth place if he wants to get any higher than that fifth place, if he's got designs on Finn Koyman's fourth. There is Andrea Dale, again that exaggerated upper body movement. This is the home straight. Looks very short with our foreshortened camera, but it's about 150, 160 metres long, so it's not a short straight. It's a very legitimate straight, moving to turn one and into the initial infield, sweeping left and then left again, and that minor left before we turn at the hairpin right to come onto the freeway straight. Now this is the longest straight on the circuit, long way down as Dale sets another fastest lap, this time 53.017, and we move into the complex, and this is the serpentine, the short straights, three short straights with the two hairpins providing a serpentine. Andreas Hansen is in kart 350. You see him in shot now, defending second place against Fabian Federer and Finn Koyman, who had very, very legitimate designs on a podium place, just dropping away a little bit now on lap 21. Andrea Dale in the meantime in shot, still leaning far over to the right and then far over to the left. It's maybe not the prettiest driving style, but as I keep saying, nobody's beaten him today. He won the qualifying competition. He was quickest in free practice. He won qualifying practice, all his heats. He won his pre-final this morning, And I'm not saying anything to put the mockers on, but he's not doing badly in the final, is he? Leading by 5.9 seconds as we have a couple of laps remaining. It's under a couple of laps for him. This is a good race for second and third, though. Andreas Hansen of Denmark in second place. Fabian Federer of Italy in third place. Sweeping now onto that home straight, because there is the start of the last lap for Andreas Hansen. Start of the last lap for Fabian Federer. Doesn't look as if Federer is going to be able to get close enough to mount a challenge to Hansen. So Hansen looks like taking the second best points. Here is the guy who's looking to have cleaned up throughout the event. And I would have to say, I say again, I am a totally neutral journalist, totally neutral commentator, but it really would be a travesty if anybody other than Andrea Dale won this one. It's a long time since I've seen somebody dominate an event like this, and half a second quicker than everybody else in every lap. Well, speaks for itself, doesn't it? Let's watch these last couple of turns to the right, sweeping past the pit turn onto the home straight for the 23rd time. Your winner is Andrea Dale of Italy. In second place, Andreas Hansen from Denmark. And in third place, Fabian Federer of Italy. Finn Koiman fourth, Seamus Judovicius fifth, Douglas Lundberg in sixth place, Joel Johansson seventh, Simone Brenner eighth, Dylan Davis ninth, and Mike Siebeck of Germany into the top 10 at number 10. A word of praise for the New Zealand driver, from 34th and last to 15th. Good drive by Daniel Bray. But at the sharp end, Andrea Dale wins it, Andreas Hansen second, Fabian Federer in third place. Well, Andrea Dale in kart 369 drives a kart entered in the name of Andrea Dale, so it's not as if he's driving for a works team. It would seem. Here are our highlights, and Douglas Lundberg there getting himself into second place behind Dale, going past Finn Koiman. Be interesting to see the sad little move that, oh, and that was a nice piece of driving by Jan Maderla. That was definitely how to pass somebody, rather than what went wrong here. And Madala to the left, and Rosberg to the, and Lundberg to the right, getting themselves in a difficulty. And in the end, Douglas Lundberg finishing in sixth place, but Jan Madala, as a result, partly of that, or significantly of that, in 20th place. Part 312 is Finn Koiman. Andreas Hansen in our highlights, just chasing him. And there's the move. Andreas Hansen pitches out to go past, and Fabian Federer finds the gap equally good enough and attractive enough for him. So there's the checkered flag on our screen. Andrea Dale well clear of the rest of the field, coming home to victory from Andreas Hansen and Fabian Federer. Hope you enjoyed our coverage of that on CIK TV. We go from here to the podium, but there, the graphics on screen confirming our top 10.
Yeah, now it's green, now it's green.
Okay. Those of you that are in the vicinity of the podium, please come and join us. We do the podium. And those of you in the tribune in front of the Black Art Grandstand, well, you've got a fabulous view anyway. No messing, we go to the podium ceremony. Mr. Jack, a little bit of a publicity shot maybe. Well, we do have distinguished guests to make the presentation of trophies. Mr. Paul Lemons to the third place driver, Mr. Koen Lemons to the second place driver, and Mr. Kees van der Grit to winner. The winning team representative, not sure who that is because Andrea Darley's entrant is Andrea Darley, so it may well be that he will take the presentation of the winning team's trophy to himself. So we await Fabian Federer, third place driver, Andreas Hansen, second place driver, and Andrea Darley, our race winner. The team rep, his entrant is Andrea Darley, so it may be that you're giving it to the winner anyway.
Is the team.
What is the team?
But what is the team in this case?
So, team and the responsible is Hello.
Well, once again, if you want to come and join us at the podium, please do so. We have a full tribune in front of applause already for our well done. So, they're here, all them forward. The podium, please. And one or two handshakes, one or two kisses. To the podium in third place, Fabian Federer. In third place, Fabian Federer. In second place, Andreas Hansen. And
The team responsible? It is his own team.
well, we just had a little technical hitch, Jim Cerny, but I think we've got that put right. As soon as I get the signal, we'll carry on. Okay, we can now continue with our podium ceremony. So we're called to the podium. Third place driver from Italy, Fabian Federer. Calling to the podium our third place driver, Fabian Federer from Italy. Our second place driver from Denmark is Andreas Hansen. But our winner, undefeated throughout the event from Italy, is Andrea. So, the national anthem of Italy, and we've got another Italian gentleman to step forward. Please, the winning team representative, representing Andrea Dale, Mr. Andrea Cocci. Andrea was his own entrant. Andrea Cocci receiving the award. So, the presentation to our third place driver, Fabian Federer, will be made by Mr. Paul Lemons, the circuit owner. Presentation of the second place trophy to Andreas Hansen by Koen Lemons, the circuit owner. And the presentation of the winner's trophy to Andrea Dale by Kees van der Brint, the vice president of CIK FIA. And the presentation of the winning team rep, the presentation to Mr. Andrea Cocci by Kai Oberheider, who is the CIK General Secretary. And Andrea has a big smile, Kai has a big smile, and now the hostess is coming forward to present the flowers to the drivers in first, second and third place. Oh, they also get a set of flowers for Andrea Cocci as the representative. Okay, photos time. Photos. Any more photos that you want? The professional photos? If you want the guys at the top step, you can. So now the hostesses will be giving that sparkling beverage to the drivers, and some of us will be getting out of the way.